How's it going, everybody? Jody in here, and we are back in Star Wars: The Old Republic. And so just a little bit of point of fact here before I get rolling. I have disabled the music for the game. The reason I did that was our first episode got I think it was somewhere between 7 and 9 copyright strikes from Sony, and yeah, so they can go kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. They know people play this game, so for them to be, copyright striking like crazy, that's just absolute bullshit. If they were going to do that, they should have come up with their own music for the game, not reuse 500 themes for everything from like landing on, I think it was landing on Naboo was one of them. And I'm like, we're not even anywhere near Naboo, so they're just picking music from wherever the hell they want. I mean, I understand the main Star Wars theme coming into the planet, or coming into the game. You start Star Wars, and it's like, you gotta have the main Star Wars theme with the scrolling, of the text. But to then layer on top of that basically every little bit of trademarked music you can possibly find that's Star Wars related, it's just ridiculous. Like landing at Naboo, and I remember that was one of them, and there was a few other ones, and every single one of them was taken from the movies. And I'm like, okay, this is just ridiculous. You couldn't make your own music for this game. You had to use every single bit of Star Wars music that's out there to make this game. I mean, not only is that lazy as fuck, like, it's lazy. It's just plain old lazy. There should have been new scores written up for this game. I kind of feel like I've paid for that music by buying the game. I actually bought this game. I did not hop in now that the game's free. I was one of the original backers of this game when it first came out. So I paid for it, and I paid for every expansion that came with it. I did not, get all of this for, playing free and then, oh, I subbed for 1 month, so now I'm a preferred status or whatever. I was, like, a founder in this game, right from day one. And, they're sitting here going, oh, well, you can't use this music. You can't use this music. In a gaming video? Go fuck yourself. That's just where I'm at. Maybe don't rip off the movie music for your video game.
Here for my husband. I told Master Vidu he's gone out fishing. Would you like a sweet flat cake instead? It's fresh.
Well?
Yeah, I could eat. You got any bantha milk to wash it down with?
Of course. Help yourself, dearie. If you don't feel like waiting for Trimbo, the walk out to him is lovely. The beach is so relaxing. Trimbo's at his fishing camp. He'll be thrilled to have some company. And now, excuse me, dearie, these rhodium peppers won't cook themselves.
I love it. Oh, that was great. Okay, so I gotta head out to Ord Mantell over here. And I am not level 10 yet, so I can't use the vehicle. That is nice when you can finally start using vehicles, I'll tell you that much. I got a bunch of them. Not decided which one would be appropriate for a smuggler yet.
That's what the doctor ordered.
Suck a missile.
That one's not getting up.
I like the missiles for the ones that are close together, because they'll do explosive damage. I don't think those guys are close enough to each other, but we'll try it. Oh, he did take some. Okay, nice. Let's take out the little guy first. There's level 8. Thank you. Now, the one thing about this game that
sometimes I impress myself.
I don't know if I want to say it kind of sucks is your character really doesn't have, like, this is your character sheet. Your gear is basically all you got. You can pick your combat styles. There's a little bit of additional in there under your combat styles. But really, there's not a lot of... I mean, for anybody who's played Star Wars Galaxies, the one that preceded this, the MMO that preceded this, when you go into your combat proficiencies, this is your combat proficiencies. This is basically your skill tree. So once you select your style, whether it be, mercenary, whatever, and then your discipline, your ability tree is basically there. Very, very small adjustments, or very, very small selection, I should say, on what skills you can have. Like in Star Wars Galaxies, I could be a bounty hunter,
Can't stay this pretty without learning some tricks.
or I could be a medic. I could be a dancer. I could be anything. I could be a trader. I could be a smuggler that has skills from, like, military skills. I could be there were so many classes that you could mix and match, and so many skills from those classes that you could mix and match. Like, the skill trees were ridiculous. They were insane. I don't remember them right now because it's been so long, but you could have, like, a sniper who was also a medic, who was also into building droids, who was also, a house builder as well,
Don't
who
stand
was
there.
also a
That
miner,
spot is reserved exclusively for my Gundart friends. You're clearly
who's a
not
pilot.
Gundart.
You know,
Your ears are too
like your
small.
character.
Listen, do you smell that? There's a pot of Alderaanian stew bubbling. But how could I smell it all the way on Ord Mantell?
Vito sent me to pick up a canister of chemicals from you.
What's a Vidu? Some kind of musical instrument?
Oh my
Is
gosh.
that what keeps playing that awful tune I can't get out of my head? I do recall a man saying to expect a stranger coming for my chemicals. You seem pretty strange. Was he talking about you?
You got it in one.
Have you been diagnosed with a terminal illness? Are you trying to avoid marrying someone? There are better ways to kill yourself, you know. People haven't had much luck getting my chemicals. Know why? Those Ugnaught assassins in the woods attack everyone who visits me.
I'll just kill everyone who tries to stop me.
That hasn't worked out well for the others who took on the Ugnaught assassins, but maybe you'll be the lucky one. What you really need is a precision teleporter, but a former assistant crashed my prototype into the sun. Good luck, my friend. If you should explode, please feel free
Well.
to come back and tell me all about it. Everyone else has.
Huh? I'm guessing... Yeah... Right... We're just gonna back away slowly. Okay, it shows that there's a transport here. I'm wondering if it's up there. I don't see the way. Maybe it's over here. Can we get up there? Anyway, what I was ranting on. Yeah, in Star Wars Galaxies, your character, I mean, you were limited. There were limits on what you could what you could do. Like you only had so many skill points by the time you reached max level or whatever. So you had to kind of pick and choose what you wanted to be and what you wanted to do. But you had so much freedom to be basically whatever you wanted to be. It was insane. There was no other game like it. There really wasn't. There was no other game like it.
Be safe out there.
Every other game, including this one, locks you into a class. This one, they tried to open it up a little bit by giving you combat styles. You can select the different combat styles. So they tried to open it and give you a little more freedom that way, but it still is nothing compared to the way Star Wars Galaxies was. Star Wars Galaxies was it was insane. It was way beyond its time. I think it would have done well, very well, if it came out today with today's graphical capabilities. If it was updated for, like, if it had the graphics of this game, or maybe even improved graphics from this game, going along with the experience of Star Wars Galaxies, I think you would have seen some major sales numbers. Because people don't like being locked into things. And I said this recently about Diablo. Diablo 4. I like being... there's two classes I really enjoy in Diablo 4. There's the Necromancer, and there's the Mage. We just hit season.
Easy
Well,
does it.
I'll hold on
I've
my
got a
thought.
storage unit here to stabilize the canister so it doesn't blow. There we go.
This may be the craziest thing I've ever done.
I'll bet you get a lot of free drinks at the cantina telling this tale. Getting Trimbo's chemicals saved our necks, Captain. Rogan will be too busy selling them to think about the blasters.
The Separatists sure seemed interested in getting that canister.
Maybe we should let them have some. They might blow themselves up. I've got good news and great news, Captain. We cracked the Separatist computer files and found Skavik.
Vidu, you promised you wouldn't get so excited. It isn't good for your heart.
Sorry, sweetheart, but this is going to be great. Skavik won't even see us coming. Ha!
I want Skavik to see my face before he dies.
Before you fry him, make sure he knows I sent you. Skavik is taking the blasters to the Separatist base. Those wackos built their headquarters inside an old volcano. Crazy, huh?
What do you expect from foaming-at-the-mouth murderers? I wish that volcano would blow its top.
Skavik's delivering the blasters to a psycho named Darrig at the base. You need to get there first. When Skavik shows up, you can ambush him, grab your ship, and fly back here. Easy, huh?
I won't be happy until Skavik and all his Separatist friends are dead.
That makes two of us.
Take Corso with you, Captain. The kid knows more about blasters and vibroblades than anybody I've ever met.
I owe Skavik payback for taking Torchy. That was lower than low.
My own lackey.
Can you keep your cool with the Separatists?
Don't worry about me.
Then it's a deal. You two head for the Separatist base, kill Darrig, and ambush Skavik when he shows
I
up.
would have rather said something
I've
along
got
the
a
line
bottle
of the
Chamberlain
first time
brandy
you
to open when you get back.
pull out a name for a gun, I'm gonna throw you off into the volcano.
Consider me signed on.
I'd wish you two good luck, but I don't want to jinx anything. Just come back in one piece.
Alright. No, I gotta select. What do I want you to look like? I want you to look like douchebag number 1, douchebag number 2, or douchebag number 3. Can I? Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, whatever. So now that I got that, what I can do is I can come up to my character sheet, maybe, over to companion, drop this in his appearance slot, which I think is here? No. Where's your appearance slot? Thought that went in there. That is Corso customization. Or do I just use it? Where's Corso Rigs? He's right there! Maybe I don't own it yet? Or maybe I don't... Yeah, he's my companion. That's weird, because you're supposed to be able to open your companion... Whoop, not that. You're supposed to open your character sheet with your companion. And... customization. He's supposed to go right there. Cannot modify this companion's equipment. Oh, okay, so he must not be totally mine yet. As it were. He must not be completely mine yet. Maybe after the mission. Alright, whatever it is. So anyway, as I was saying about Diablo 4, Season 6 finished not long ago. In Diablo there's seasons, so each season they basically go and change a bunch of stuff. It's basically like a big patch. They had a tiny bit of content. I say tiny bit because it always seems like it's just another... I don't know, it seems like it's a couple of skins that you can unlock by, you know, if you pay for the season, you'll get a couple of skins, like appearance skins. For your character, you'll get a set of skins for weaponry, some skins for like maybe a mount, or some mount accessory skins. It's basically a way to keep players playing. It's not free. If you do play free, you'll get a little bit here and a little bit there, a couple of items here and there. I think it's every like 10 levels or something like that. They'll give you a free item. Sometimes it's a boots. Sometimes it's a, you know, the top, or a weapon, or like a weapon skin, or. But anyway, to get the most of the season, you have to spend money. To get the most of the season, you have to spend money, because you're not going to get the most of the season unless you spend money. So,
mechanized travel is for official business.
My point is that in Season 6, Necromancers were pretty friggin' boss. They had a blood wave attack, or not a blood wave attack, it was like an explosion. Basically like an explosion of blood around you. Like a blast. And it did ridiculous damage. Like, it was insane. The new season starts, and every time a season starts, they mess around with stuff. They'll put out a new power, or they'll tweak old powers, or, you know, this and that. So Season 7 hit, all of a sudden, the Necromancer that isn't as powerful. Like, it's not a build anymore that people are using. Because, and they call it build because it's like you going through and picking your stats every... Like, their stat trees are fairly extensive. I should say skill trees. I shouldn't say stat trees. I should say skill trees. Their skill trees are pretty extensive. And, so you're going through the skill tree, selecting this and that, and then once you're done... Once you've got all your points for your skill tree, then you move into a Paragon tree, which is much more advanced. But still, you're just basically putting points into little spots and making trails across these charts, which the Paragon charts. And it'll give you, you know, each little point you put in, maybe it's, you know, a couple of wisdom points, or a couple intelligence points, a couple strength points, or you know, this, that, and the other. So anyway, the build that I was using for Season 6 is no good in Season 7. It's absolutely horrible. The hell was that? So I went to look at some Necromancer builds, because every season there's some players that get advance notice, and these are the ones that constantly building builds. They kind of get advanced access to the season. They'll build some builds, so when the season's ready to go, there's builds available, so you can follow along. They're like, okay, this is where all these are the skills you need to select. This is the equipment you need to have. These are the bonuses you need to have on your equipment, or the enchantments, I should say. You know, this is where all your Paragon points have to go, and so they build these charts basically that says, okay, if you build this character, you're going to do amazing damage, and you'll just walk through all the dungeons and all the raids and realms and whatever. I'm just trying to use common terms here. That's not actually what they're called. I'm just trying to use common terms that are common across, you know, MMOs, like raids and dungeons, you know. But anyway, so my Necromancer from last season, no good for this season. In fact, seasonal characters don't actually carry over. You can't use your character that you played last season for this season. It goes into what's called an internal realm, which is basically a generic realm where all players, or all old characters, basically go to never be played again. It's still Diablo 4, but it doesn't follow the season. There's no season bonuses or anything like that. And your character, like all the stats and everything, change just as they do with the season. But the season bonuses and all that stuff aren't available. So the character that you just spent all last season building is no good. You might as well delete it. And then you start this season. Well, this season, which is Season 7, I went to build a Necromancer, and I was looking at the builds, and there's a new Blood Wave ability that is kind of tweaky. If you get it right, it's powerful. If you get it wrong, you're screwed, because you'll be stuck with a countdown timer that's like anywhere up to 10 to 30 seconds. And in a fight, especially in Diablo, in a fight, 10 to 30 seconds is absolute insanity. It's a nightmare scenario. You're done. You're screwed. So I was like, okay, well, my second favorite class to play is the Sorcerer. I like to play the Sorcerer. I like to throw fireballs around, or electrical bolts, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Sorcerer. So I go and looked at the Sorcerer builds. And Sorcerer builds are, you know, they're kind of like, well, this is a class. They have different classifications. S class is being the best, and then you move down. You have A class, B class, C class, with S class being at the top, which is kind of confusing, because it's like it starts at the worst, which is C class, and then it goes to B, then it goes to A, then it goes to S. So S class being the very top class, you of course want an S class build. If anything, you want an S class build, because that's going to be your heavy build. So I was looking through Sorcerers, no S class build.
You are fit for duty.
Okay.
Return to your post.
So I was looking through for A class builds. Didn't see any A class builds. It's like, oh, well, all right. For B class builds, no B. I think there was like one B class build, and I'm like, huh. one B class build for the sorcerer, and it ended up being some kind of crazy electric lance build that would bounce between enemies. Come on, brain. I'm trying to remember the actual word for it. Chain lightning. It was like a chain lightning attack that would just bounce between enemies. But at the same time, there was a lot that could go wrong with it too. It was like you had to fire it off, and then you had to fire off 2 more things, then you had to fire off a 3rd thing, and then you had to evade like crazy, which is basically a dodge move. Then you had to do this, and then you had to do that, and I'm sitting there going, how the hell are you going to remember any of this when you're sitting in combat? Because, like, even here, I don't have any strategy when I'm pressing buttons here. I just press the button and hope the hell it does something. You know? I don't remember what keys are what. I remember this does the pew-pews, number 2 does the rocket, and number 3 does the friggin' delayed power shot. So, if somebody were to say, oh, do this shot, then 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 this shot, I'm going to be like, are you kidding? I'm never going to remember that. Not in the middle of a fight. I probably won't remember that outside of a fight. Like, so, basically their high-end tiers have, they call them rotations, which is that's what that is. It's like, do this, do this, do this, and then do this, do this, do this, and then start it over again. And some of them will slip in, well, if this countdown is ready, click that. If that countdown's not ready, then go and do this. And so they'll throw in variables. And you're sitting here going, okay. And it's so mind-numbing that it's like, okay, this might be a B-class build, but it's going to be an F-class build for me to play it. It's not playable for me. And that's the same as the other build. It's like the Necromancer build. It's like, okay, well, this is basically going to be an F-class build for me too, not an S, an F, like a fail. It's going to be an F-class for me, and the reason it's going to be an F-class for me is because I'm not going to be able to figure out the rotation that it wants me to do. Not during the fight. So instead of playing, the classes that I actually want to play, I ended up playing a barbarian. Why did I end up playing a barbarian? Because it's a very powerful class this season, and it's got basically an ability that you just run around. All you do is run around the bad guys, and it creates earthquake explosions around them, and the earthquake explosions do damage. And then you put buffs on your gear to make that damage better. And then you put buffs on your gear to make that explosion bigger, or that earthquake bigger. And you put buffs on your gear to make it last longer, and make the cooldown better. And so basically all you're doing is running around bad guys like this, like pretend those are the bad guys. You're just doing this. That's all you're doing. You're not pressing any buttons. You just boom, 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 boom. Your little earthquake's going off under your feet, and shit's dying. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is what the season's all about. Just running in circles around people and blowing, shaking the ground. There's no... I would like to at least play the game. I don't want a stupid rotation that I have to follow that I can't remember. But in the same note, I don't want to just run up to somebody and have, a boom go off on my feet and everybody dies. That's just boring. That's really boring. So it's kind of like, I don't know, this season seems like Diablo. Actually, I shouldn't just say this season. I should say Diablo itself, Diablo 4 itself. Seems like each season they gear up for specific classes to be at the top of their game. And unfortunately, what that means is the balance is way off. Every time they do a season, the balance is way off. Because your season should actually be good for everybody should be able to get to an S class. Every one of your classes should be able to get to an S level. If it's not, it means you did a piss poor job of balancing the season. And I'm sorry, but I really liked having my Necro as very, very powerful last season. It was great. But in the same note, last season wasn't good for other classes. It was really shitty for a lot of other classes. I think Mage kind of sucked last season. Spiritborn, which was just entered the game, it was very powerful last season. I don't know that Barbarian was really good. Was really that good last season. Season 6. I could be wrong. Maybe it was Season 5 that Barbarian had its problems. But it seems like every season there's only one or two classes out of this. Is it 6? I think it's 6 or 7 that are actually good. Some seasons only one's good. The rest of them, yes, you can play them. But you're not going to be pushing your torments up like Torment 2, Torment 3, Torment 4, which is like extreme difficulty, you know, master difficulty, way up there. You're going to be sitting in the hard difficulty, which is... I don't want to bad talk anybody who sits in the hard difficulty, but that's basically where new players go. New players sit in the hard difficulty because it's not really hard at all. It's definitely not hard. If you've played any Diablo at all, you're going to find the hard to be extremely easy. And you're going to want to go to Torment 1 as soon as you can. Torment 1 is like, I guess, super hard. That would be the quote-unquote super hard, I guess they would call it. And then like deadly would be Torment 2, which isn't really deadly, but I'm trying to put labels on these. If I really wanted to label them,
you worthless
I'll tell you in a second.
How dare you invade my fortress and murder my courageous brothers in arms?
Your pal Skavik stole my freighter. I want it back.
There's no ship here for you. Only death. You are guilty of crimes against the oppressed people of Ord Mantell.
Oh my God.
The sentence is death. Memorize our faces well, you criminal filth, for we are your righteous executioners. Do you have any last words, degenerate swine?
There's no reason we can't cut a deal here.
I don't negotiate with corrupt dogs.
That's not what I clicked. I clicked you can still surrender. See, this game's changed a lot too. It didn't used to have med stations all over the place when you run into quote-unquote bosses. Yeah. So anyway, if I had to label them, I would say on Diablo, hard is easy, Torment 1 is medium, Torment 2 is hard, Torment 3 is extreme, and Torment 4 would be, I don't know, deadly or expert or like whatever. I mean, if you got a decent character, Torment 4 can be easily played too. Depends on your character, really.
I surrender! Please! I don't want to die! I know why you're here, and you're wasting your time!
I'm here for Skavik and my starship. Where are they?
My laser's going right through his
Skavik
skull.
is long gone. He left here hours ago. Derek was stupid to fight you. He got everyone killed, when he should have just told you the truth. Skavik showed up a few hours ago to deliver the guns, but it was all a trick. He pretended to be on our side so he could steal some rusty antique droid from Derek.
Skavik came here to steal a droid?
Some worthless pile of scrap that had been in Derek's family for generations. That droid was ancient. It was practically useless. But Skavik grabbed it like some big treasure and blasted his way out. He left in your ship. I don't know where he went, but I can guess who does. Skavik has a girl at Fort Garnick named Cyrena.
You'll forgive me if I don't take your word for it.
It's true! Derek talked to her on the holo all the time with messages for Skavik. She was our main contact. It was Cyrena who warned us you were coming. If you want to find out where Skavik went, Cyrena's the one who knows. Please, let me go. I have a family back on the mainland. Please.
Separatist scum killed my family, and I promised myself I'd bury every last one of you.
I've only been here a few months. I didn't kill anyone's family. I only ever followed orders.
Then I order you to die.
Kind of want to say orders are orders and let him shoot him. But I think my character would say this feels wrong. He's not into slaughtering families.
Are you sure about this, Corso? The man seems sincere.
Sincerity has nothing to do with it. Every one of these motherless scum deserves death. I can't just let him go home and pretend like nothing ever happened.
So recruit him.
He could be useful if he switches sides.
Please, I swear to you I'll never serve a man like Derek again. I'll just go home and take care of my family.
Get out of here before I change my mind.
Thank you.
Come on, Captain. We need to have a little heart-to-heart with Cyrena.
Yeah, we could shoot her. I'll let you shoot her. So yeah, I'm not really sure where I was going with that whole spiel about Diablo 4. I think I was kind of getting into the... I was basically talking about how leveling and customization goes, and how games these days lock you in. Like, I am locked into being a smuggler. I have a story. Well, I can't really say much because there's a whole story, interactive story built around it, so I can't really say much about this game. Because like I said, I picked a smuggler, now I have a whole interactive story built around that smuggler, which I would not trade. I wouldn't trade that in. I absolutely love that there's a full story for these characters. And each class has its own full story. I really like that. I really, really like that. Complete with voice acting and cutscenes like crazy and everything. It really brings in the RPG feel of it, which I think is important in this specific game. A game like Diablo, or like Diablo 4, you can be any class and your story's going to be the same. Except for a very tiny, tiny piece. It's like one mission long, where you go and unlock your skills for your dude. It's at like level 10 or something like that. You go and unlock your skills for your one character. Whatever that may be. For the Necromancer, it's unlocking your what do they call it? The son of a gun. What do they call it? My brain just walked off. It's the one big. It's the brute. It's the big guy. It's the Hulk. For crying out loud, I can't think of the name. Anyway, you go do a very small quest to unlock him. And then the other classes have the same thing. Like the druid, you go to a town and you unlock the druid, basically spirits. The druid spirits, basically. You unlock them. But that's the only thing that differs between classes throughout the whole story. The whole story is identical, regardless of what class you pick. So, in Star Wars, I can see you being like, okay, you are a smuggler, and I'm locking you into smuggler because I have a whole story to feed you. You know? I have an entire story to feed you, so I'm going to lock you in as a smuggler. Give him a little health. Oh, he's going to die. He's going to die! Dude, don't die! Don't die, buddy! Where's your helper? Why don't you have a helper? Corso! Give him a hand! Why doesn't he have a Corso? Dude! You shouldn't be here without a helper. You're gonna get your ass kicked. There's another one. Why are you guys... Oh, because they're military. They're the military class. I thought they should have, by the time they get here, should they not have a follower? I thought they should. I thought they should have, what's his name? The cat guy. Frickin' hell. I forget what his name is. I seem to remember having a follower by this time. If you're wondering why I can fire a bunch of those rockets, it's this yellow line down here. This is my weapon's heat. When it gets to full, I can't do anything. So as long as it's not at full, I can basically fire rockets indefinitely. I just prefer to use my pew guns because they have a more they have a faster firing mode. They shoot faster, basically. If you can't tell, it's getting late here, and that's why I'm tripping all over my voice or my words. Getting late here in the evening, my brain's going, it's bedtime. What are you doing? And I'm still playing. Anyway. So, back to what we're talking about. Anybody who has played Star Wars Galaxies, which again, it's by far, it was one of the best games that I've played. One of the best MMOs I've played. Although, there were a few that were very close to it, to beating it, or to getting, to getting there. Oh shit, I'm going the wrong way. The closest I would have to say to beating out Star Wars Galaxies was City of Heroes. And the reason I say that is because City of Heroes was another game that gave you so much customization on your character that your characters weren't really the same as any other characters. And what really made it in that game was appearance. You could adjust the appearance of your character in that game. Because it was a superhero game, you could adjust your character's appearance so that you were the only superhero that looked like you. And that was phenomenal. That was an absolutely phenomenal addition to that game. Once again, that's another game that was taken down. Unfortunately, so many good games lost, and I unfortunately that is really the destiny of all MMOs. All MMOs will at one day vanish and become unplayable. Like all MMOs. Doesn't matter. Even World of Warcraft someday will shut down. I don't believe that's going to be anytime soon. But one day, World of Warcraft will shut down. It will come to an end. I think maybe they got another... I say maybe they got another 10 years in them. Maybe. Maybe. There's still a lot of WoW players out there. There's still a lot of players, you know, sucked into the we're gonna up your level. You know, here's an expansion. We're gonna up your level, which does not work. That we talked about that before in another video. How the whole we're gonna up your level thing doesn't work, or we're upping max level doesn't work. In fact, WoW had to fix that. They did what they called I think it was called the Big Crunch or something like that, where they max level was 120. They brought it down again to 60 by crunching everybody. So if you were a level 120, you became a level 60. If you were a level 60, you became a level 30, and yada yada yada, so on and so forth. They basically halved your level. It was a little more complicated than that, but that was basically the gist of it. Your level basically got cut in half. It didn't really change anything because it didn't affect any of your powers. It didn't really affect any of the raids or anything. The level 60, what used to be level 60 raids, it actually didn't make them relevant again at all, which was sad. I really personally liked, you know, Onyx's Lair, which nobody plays anymore because it's just why play it? The gear in it is just not good gear anymore. It used to be the best gear. Now it's not good anymore. Why? Because levels went up. And instead of making additional gear, you made higher level gear, better gear. So why would anybody grind a... Where the hell am I supposed to go? Find Serena. I don't actually see that anywhere on the map. Oh, I do. There it is. It is back there. Okay, anyway. So yeah, there was no point to doing it anymore. The whole point for the raids was to pick up gear. And if you make that gear basically undesirable, you know, it used to be the top tier gear. It used to be the end level gear. Now it's not the end level gear anymore. So why would somebody grind and grind and grind to get that gear, which is what you have to do in those raids, because the drop rate is so low. Why would somebody grind and grind and grind and grind to get that gear when there's better gear 3 levels away or 4 levels away, you know, by leveling up? So it basically made those obsolete. It made those once amazing raids that you would have to get 40 people together to play, the 40-man raids. It made them completely obsolete. And there's a lot of people that didn't get to play them, which is sad. There's a lot of players that are coming in today that will never have that experience. And again, I find that very sad. That needs to go over there. What I would like to see from these MMO developers is I would like to see additional content added that does not destroy current content. And when I say that, I mean bring in additional areas for like the level 30s. Bring in additional areas for like level 40s. Bring in additional areas for high level, the top level. Do not increase the top level. Bring in additional gear for the top level. You know?
I can't believe you fried Vito, sweetheart. So what if he caught you talking to Separatists?
He threatened to turn me into Rogan the Butcher. I had to kill him. Besides, now we can finally be together.
Yeah. And the thing is, my cargo hold is full and I'm busy with work. I'll call you sometime, though. I promise.
What are you talking about? You promised to get me out of here. I've done everything for you, Skavik.
You did it for the money. Same as me. The only difference is, you're not actually getting paid. I'll see you around, darling.
Captain, I didn't see you come in. It's wonderful you're still alive. How long have you been back?
Your friends in the secret base ratted you out.
I should have known those half-wits wouldn't kill you. No use pretending then. Skavik used me just like he did everyone else. That man could charm the armor off a Mandalorian. Rogan the Butcher's bounty hunters are on their way right now. We don't want to be here when they arrive. Skavik took your ship and the guns to Coruscant. If you go now, he won't know you're coming for him.
I still have plenty of time to kill you before I go.
Every second you waste threatening me lets Rogan's bounty hunters get closer. Am I really worth it? The Separatists are retreating from this island, thanks to you. And the Republic just reopened the shuttle port. I'll give you a shuttle pass to Coruscant if you let me disappear. Do we have a deal?
Pew pew. I feel like if I let her go, we're just gonna run into her later. That wouldn't make any sense, because if I kill her now, I wouldn't run into her later. So, she's...
I'll take that shuttle pass off your corpse.
I didn't actually mean to click that. But oh well.
That was cold-blooded, Captain. Where I come from, real men don't shoot ladies.
She brought that on herself when she killed Vito.
I appreciate the sentiment, but I was raised to treat women differently.
That's true.
Poor old Vito.
She did kill Vito.
We did.
She did deserve
it.
it.
Smile on his face.
If she hadn't killed Vito,
stick around, Captain. I believed what Cyrena said about bounty
but
hunters
I honestly didn't mean to click that.
I don't know how long Scott will stay on Coruscant either. Let's hop a shuttle and catch him while we can.
Oh, wait a minute. Ha ha ha! I forgot that in this game, if you hit escape and get out before it finishes, you can change your choices.
Vito, sweetheart. So what if
All right.
you talking
Skip.
He threatened to...
Yeah.
What are you talking...
Skip.
Captain.
Separatist says hello. Skip.
Rogan the Butcher, Skavik...
I still have plenty of time.
Skip. I guess we do.
As long as I get a haul jets out of here, fine.
Good. Then I'll be on my
There
way.
we go. That's actually what I wanted.
I hope you stay out of trouble after this.
When you find Skavik, go easy on him. He's a two-timing liar, but it would be nice to see him again someday.
When I see Skavik, I'm gonna blow his head off, lady.
Glad that ended peacefully. I'm not one to hurt women.
Hey.
You don't care that she killed your boss?
Of course I do. Which is why I'm gonna make sure people know what she did to him. Poor old Vito. I wish he could hear what we did. Would have put a smile on his face. It's not healthy for us to stick around, Captain. I believed what Cyrena said about bounty hunters coming. We don't know how long Skavik will stay on Coruscant either. Let's hop a shuttle and catch him while we can.
You're planning to tag along?
I'm not bailing on you now, Captain. Besides, my Torchy still needs rescuing.
Oh my god.
Vito left me some stuff. I expect he'd want me to share it with you. Let's head for the shuttle port. We'll be off this planet before you know it.
I swear, dude. If you even think of telling me the name of one of your firearms, do you even think it, you're gonna be going out an airlock. I don't care. It is disturbing that you name your weapons. See these? You know what they're called? They're called blasters. They don't have any specific name. They're just called blasters. I blast things with them. That's what they do. So unless your Torchy is some freaking insane flamethrower, which, if it was, I would let you get away with the name. If it wasn't, I would say, take your Torchy and torch yourself. Alright. He wants me to come here and do this, so let's do this. I'll put it on my chest. Bot. Are you happy now? I'm just gonna be pulling it off anyway. No one wants me to do that. That's what it wants me to actually do. There we go. Oh, good. You gave me another piece. Ugh. Let's throw that on there too, I guess. Not worrying about it. Alright. Where is the... Where's the speeder piloting dude? Why haven't I found him yet? Unless he's in the... Maybe he's in there? So I should have speeder piloting by now. Yeah, see, I haven't got it yet. Rank 1. See, I still don't meet the requirement. Speeder piloting. Wants me to go over here? I don't want me to go over here. Transit shuttle's over there. What am I supposed to be doing here? No, do I have to kill you guys? Or maybe not. Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe I don't know. Are these bounty hunters I'm supposed to shoot? Oh, look at you. Oh, you guys.
Sick of being cooped up on Starship, Zoru. I want to run around and shoot things for a while.
Bizgamayo kojedwanti. Noa hauyat yachavopa.
I'll be sure to call Rogan sometime. Tell him I said hello.
Chut. Pochakola chano gando do waletapa. Bizgamayo kojedwanti. Noa hauyat yachavopa.
You guys want a thief named Skavik, not me.
Yatuka poka fukrida. Vota mo krita chai. Ota nuava te kona ituta od miskapunda.
I never flies cargo.
Sorry, I only travel first class.
Sino bushaskorni. Joping wampalahagwa. Jakoska umpasa dobiska.
You really should have turned around and got back on the shuttle.
That ought to fix you.
Oh, that Kindon guy's going down fast. Yep. Oh, I got these already? Nice. And he's dead. Alright, now I gotta take the shuttle to the Republic fleet. And that's probably where we're gonna call it a day. And I will start off next episode by getting my character all straightened out at the Republic fleet, because I do have gear I'm gonna have to buy there. Well, not gear per se, but the mods I just put on my my gear at the modding station there. I basically, all my gear has to have mods on it, and so I have a whole series of gear I gotta buy. Like I got let's see, what do I got? I got 7 armor pieces to buy. I got 9 mods to buy, 7 enhancements to buy, and actually, yeah, and 2 hilts. So, well, hilts, handles, whatever they call them for the guns. But yeah, so I have a bunch of stuff I gotta buy. I ain't got a hell of a lot of money to buy them, so that's a thing. But that is what you have to do when you go to the station. Otherwise, you are going to be severely underpowered for the next section of our story. It's kind of like getting better gear, except you're not really changing your gear. I love the hammerheads all in here now. Hammerhead Corvettes. So yeah, with our discussion that we were having there, I don't really want Corso's item or outfits. Oh, whatever. So with our discussion that we were having there, that's just the way I see it. I see Star Wars Galaxies, definitely one of the best MMOs of all time. Unfortunately, it was shut down. It had true player communities. It had true character customization. It was a true RPG. In other words, your character could be anything. You just start off with a character, and that character could then become anything. So it was the only true RPG, the only true character experience, basically living another life that I have seen. And then, like I said, City of Heroes, it was another one that was pretty fantastic. You could customize. There was player housing. Everybody basically entered their house from the same location, but there was player housing. You could actually build your house housing, which you could do in Star Wars Galaxy. Star Wars Galaxy, you placed a house, or you placed a building, and when you place that building, then you can go inside. You can place equipment. You can place furniture. You can place this, that, and something else, and make it your own. In City of Heroes, it was more like there was a common portal that would take you into your specific house, or any house that you had access to. Any they didn't call them houses though; they were your how was the name that they used? Not your stronghold. The thing that superheroes have, like Bruce Wayne's Batcave. It would be your lair, basically. So you would be able to customize your lair. You'd be able to change the shape of your lair, like walls. You can put up walls. You can put up all kinds of different things. Okay. And yeah, you can make it look your own. You can give it your own look, basically. That looks all right. Okay. So yeah, you can make it your own. You can make your base your own in City of Heroes. The third one that I was a fan of, and unfortunately these are all, like I said, these are all MMOs that have been shut down for one reason or another. Either they existed before their time, or the company just, you know, moved on to bigger and better, which is basically how Star Wars Galaxies. I wouldn't call this bigger or better. It's a better RPG, definitely, but I don't think it's a better MMO than Galaxies was. But anyways, Galaxies was shut down because this game came along, obviously. Jesus. Everybody loading in. So Galaxies was shut down because this game came along. City of Heroes was shut down just because I guess they I don't know whether they lost players or whether they couldn't get players or whether they just wanted to stop running it. I don't know. I really don't know why it sunsetted, because it was extremely popular at the time it went away. And then the third one was Earth and Beyond, which unfortunately didn't really get. It was an EA game, and it didn't really get the recognition it deserved. It was a space game. Most of your time was spent on your ship. There were 3 races. Each race had 3 classes, and those classes were very similar between races, but there were differences. And I just feel that, and you could customize your ship. You can customize the appearance of your ship. There was limited customization, but there was customization enough so that your ship didn't look like every other ship out there. And the effects were good. Space was good. Transition between zones was good. It was a game that I really liked. And then when you docked at a station, your ship, you'd actually see your ship coming in. You'd appear on the station, and you would wander the station. Stations weren't that big. They were usually just a couple of rooms with the hallways. They tried to make them look a little bigger with you know, like windows and you know, they had like, they'll have like a limited area, like say this limited area right here, but you'll be able to see stuff beyond it, like that, you know. But you could only stand in this limited area, but there was beyond it. So, well, it would have more been like this. Like there'd be a wall here, and you can see down in there, kind of like that. So it'd be something like that. You couldn't go any further than this because there'd be some kind of, you know, fake barrier there, whether it be a railing or whether it be a gap or something like that. But you could see further into the station, so it was a fake bigger station. There wasn't really that much you could do on the stations. You could sell stuff, you could buy stuff. There were stores, there were gears, there were missions givers, that kind of stuff. But the one thing that I really missed about that was the classes were unique. So, for example, you had the one race was called Genquai. You had a Genquai Explorer, and they were basically kind of like a miner, I would say if you're going to be a miner, or you're going to be, you know, somebody who crafts things, if you're going to be a crafter or a miner or something like that, the Explorer was probably where you wanted to be. And then if you went over to one of the other races, they actually had a miner who got bonuses for mining. The Explorer, I don't believe, got bonuses for mining. So there were different bonuses here and there, and I think the human got a bonus on trade. The human, I think it actually was called the trader. Basically, they were the same class. Like the Genkwai Explorer was the same class as the human trader was the same class as the other races. I forget what the other race was called, but their miner. That was basically their quote-unquote non-combat class. Even though they had slight differences, that was the non-combat class. Then each race had a combat class, and each race had kind of a medium class, which could do combat or, either or, but it didn't really have the bonuses for either or. It would have some bonuses for one side, which like the mining or the exploring, whatever, and it would have some bonuses for the combat. But it wouldn't be as powerful in combat as the combat class, and it wouldn't be as good at mining, gathering, and all that stuff, scanning and exploring, as the other side of the coin. So it was basically the three classes for each race was basically a gauge system. You could be combat, you could be kind of down the middle, or you could be kind of non-combat, collecting, exploring, scanning, that kind of stuff. I usually went non-combat. I wasn't really too into the combat. There was PvP in that game. You didn't have to take part in it, but it did exist. It was sector PvP, as I recall. So if I, as a human, went into a Genkwai sector, for example, I would automatically be flagged as PvP. Doesn't necessarily mean I would get attacked. It doesn't necessarily mean anybody would automatically start firing at me. But I would be flagged, And it basically, I think it came out before its time. I actually think the game came out before its time. If it had more decent graphics, if the graphics were tweaked a little bit, they didn't need to be tweaked a hell of a lot. The ships looked great. Like the paint schemes, you could paint your ship, you could put decals on your ship, you can change the appearance of your ship to a certain extent. Like there was 3 or 4 different wing types, there was different hull types, there was different, and you could configure them. So you could be like hull type 3 or wing type 2, with engine type 5, just that kind of stuff. It was basically the same kind of customization you get with your character, and like hairstyles and size, like body frame, and facial appearance. It was basically the same thing, but with the ships. So it gave you customization of your ship, and it gave you specific roles in the galaxy, and it made you feel like you weren't trapped in a character, and that your character was useful. Like I go back to the Diablo 4, it made it so your character was useful. Diablo 4, my Necromancer isn't useful this season, even though I spent so much time on him last season. Maybe Necromancers will be useful next season. Who knows? It all depends on the modifications they made. But anyways, I'm rambling on here now, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm tired and I want to go to bed. So I'm gonna hop offline here, and we got the first planet's done. We will start on the second planet next episode. We'll get ourselves all upgraded, and we'll start on the second planet next episode. I see the speeder piloting, I think, is down in here. So that's kind of the person I was kind of going to see, but I don't know if he's here. That's the vendor. Upgrades. No, he's not here. I gotta find the speeder pilot guy. Anyways, I'll look that up and get back to it next time. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. This is Jody, and signing off. Take care and have a great night.